Every one of us has a story being written right now. It says in the Bible that He sees us before we're even formed, and that every day of our life has already been written out in that book. And that really got me thinking about the story that each of us is telling with the lives that we live. Every decision we make, every turn, every twist, all of it is all a part of one big story. And I think whenever we reach the other side, we're going to look back on our own stories and just see how incredible it all really was when taken as a whole. And that's really made me really think about, how I live my life and how I, come to the decisions I make. When I get to the other side and I'm looking back on my story, I want it to be one worth reading. you know, I want my story to be one worth telling. So I want to pose the question to you. What story are you telling? What story is your life going to be about? Is it going to be a tragedy, a comedy, romance, or more than likely it's probably going to be a little of all the above? It's such a remarkable thing that everything we're ever going to do, God has already seen it, and it hasn't even happened yet. That is just beyond remarkable. And I think we should all be living our lives with that fact in mind, that these are stories, and we should be making them stories worth telling, stories worth reading. And you might, when you read that verse, you might think that all our decisions have already been made for us, that because it says that, all our days have already been laid out for us by the Lord. And that is true, but that also does not mean that we do not have a choice in the actions we make and the life we end up living. Because there's another verse that I'm going to put up at the end of this, and I can't remember the exact wording off the top of my head, but basically it says that the Lord observes all the paths of a man. The Lord knows the ways of a man and ponders all his paths. That means that the Lord sees all the choices that are laid out before us. Every outcome for every choice, He's already seen it all. And that means that irregardless of whatever it is that we choose, God has already written a different outcome for every choice we make, so that it turns out according to His plan. So the choice is ours. We do get to shape and craft the lives we live. It's just that the Lord has set up His plan in such a way that irregardless of whatever we choose, it's going to all work together according to His plan, if that makes sense. So our choices do matter. The everyday deeds we do, it does matter. And we can choose to live, a story worth telling, that, we are the authors of our lives, and our lives are our stories. And every day we're writing a new chapter with every person we meet, with every place that we go, with everything that we say, with how we treat people. Every little decision we make is another word on that page. And I'm going to make sure the story that's told of me when I get to the other side is going to be one incredible one.